Last month in October, we got introduced to the new Walmart retro figure line of Megazords. The first wave, of course, including the Dino and Thunder Megazords from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Galaxy Megazord from Lost Galaxy, and the previously Bandai toy exclusive NinjaCon from Ninja Storm. But we have, of course, confirmation not only from the Walmart listings of 4 more unidentified Megazords, but also from what they have said during Hasbro PulseCon that we are going to be getting a second wave of 4 more figures. When this is going to happen, we don't know. But today I want to speculate on which I think would be the best options for the next 4 in the second wave. So let's go ahead and dive right on into it. So over the course of the last month and a half or so that we've seen these figures, they've really grown on me. I think these look really cool after all. They're not too expensive, they're only about $15 or so, and they, I think, should scale relatively-ish well with the Lightning Collection monster figure line, because they are supposed to be like 7-inch Megazord figures or such like that. And if you have the Retromorph Ninjor figure from a couple of months ago, also a Walmart exclusive, you know at least how big NinjaCon's going to be since it's sharing the same mold, and you can go ahead and assume that the other 3 are going to be similar in scale. But we did get to see at PulseCon how, not like super well articulated these are, but how decently articulated they are. They have a little bit of leg articulation, they have a decentish amount of arm articulation, and a little bit of head articulation as well. And I'm going to get all 4 of these, and I'm going to get the next 4, but we don't know what the next 4 are going to be just yet, because the codes are still in their code form. The first one that I think is a absolute, like, surefire for the second wave would be the Astro Megazord from Power Rangers in Space. Not only do I have a huge bias towards the Astro Megazord, as it is personally my favorite Megazord in all of Power Rangers, especially when you combine it with the Delta Megazord to make the Astro Delta. I love how that looks. I'd love to see that like in the Zap line someday or something like that for the Lightning Collection. But if we could at least get the Astro in the Retro Megazord wave, I would be good with that. It's no secret with the Lightning Collection especially that In Space is a big fan favorite of the current Hasbro team, especially John Warden. He's always talking about In Space and the different Fan First Fridays and interviews and such like that. So the fact that it wasn't in the first wave was not, I guess, necessarily surprising. I mean, I guess it kind of was. I mean, I feel like it's kind of going to take the slot of the Galaxy Megazord in the second wave if it does show up in a second wave, but I find it very hard to believe that we'll have a second wave without it being included. And I would love to see what it would come with. Obviously, I'm assuming it would come with its sword and maybe its shield, but I would love to see it come with the blaster as well, the one that actually becomes like the boosters for the little shuttle from the Sada. I think that would be pretty cool, but I am not expecting it to get all 3 if this ever did become a figure. Probably the sword for sure, and I would kind of, I'm like 50-50 on if they would actually do the shield or not, but Astro Megazord is my top pick for the next wave. Following that would be the Zeo Megazord. Zeo is another season that I think makes a lot of sense to appear here for numerous different reasons. I think first of all the fact that they've already done a Zeo Megazord figure in the past. The figure that could never decide if it was in the Lightning Collection or not, that 12-inch Zeo Megazord figure, which I personally despise. I don't like that thing at all, but I would not be opposed to a Zeo Megazord figure in this kind of line. I've always wanted like little smaller scale Megazord figures. I wish that these ones were more articulated, but for the price of only $15, I'm perfectly content with how these are. So I would love to see a Zeo Megazord in this line as well. It's not my favorite Megazord from Zeo. That would either go to Pyramidas, or I also really like the Super Zeo Megazord. But obviously the big main choice would be the original iconic Zeo Megazord. And since we have just completed the team in the Lightning Collection, and we have already had that figure in the past, so they're obviously not opposed to doing Zeo stuff, I think that it definitely could happen in the second wave, and I would not be surprised. For my third choice here, well, we have to give it to another MMPR Megazord, and I feel like there's really 2 potential options here, or I guess kind of 3, but I think the third one is kind of a cheat, but I don't think that it's not an impossibility for it to happen, and that is, of course, any of the remaining Megazords from MMPR. So of course we got the Ninja Megazord and the Shogun Megazord from Season 3, both of which I think would be great choices. The Shogun Megazord is one of my all-time favorite Megazords as well, probably second place after Astro Megazord, or maybe third place after the Delta Command Megazord from SPD. Those are all really like my top favorites there. So I would love to see the Shogun Megazord appear in the Retro Megazord line. I think it would go really well with the Ninjor figure that we already have, since they do fight alongside each other and such like that. And I think it would be really cool if we started to dive into Season 3 villains in the Lightning Collection, so we could actually have something for those 2 Megazord-sized figures to actually, fight. That would be really sweet. So I could easily see that happening. Ninja Megazord is also a good pick as well. I don't really know which one is the more popular in the fandom. Like I said, I have a bias towards the Shogun Megazord, but it could be the Ninja Megazord. But I could definitely see either one of those appearing. If it's not one of those, I still think that the wave will have a Mighty Morphin representative because, well, it's Mighty Morphin. You gotta include it somewhere, right? And I think that a very easy one here, and kind of taking also from what Wave 1 already does, you gotta think Wave 1 reuses a mold, it just repaints it and slightly remolds it to make NinjaCon from the Retro Ninjor. So what if they just took the Dino Megazord from the first wave and made a black and gold version of it? This is something that happens quite often to the Dino Megazord. It happens in the Legacy line, in the Legacy figure line, even the Zap Megazord is doing it, even though that is locked to the whole NFT stuff. So even the Lightning Collection is already doing that. So I would not be surprised if that happened in some capacity. I don't know if they would want to just re-release that in the main line, or the main retro line, as like, you know, another version of it in the wave, or if they would want to save that as some kind of convention something, or Pulse exclusive something, or I don't know. I think it'd be weird if any of this line ever did that. I would like to see this line take off though. I think that the reception at the beginning of this line was not so hot. And then I think after PulseCon, people warmed up to them a little bit more. I definitely did. I remember back a month ago, I did a video on them the day that they got revealed, and I was super hyped about NinjaCon, and the other three, I was like, okay. But now I'm like kind of all on board with this. I would love to see where this line can go. And so I definitely think that any Mighty Morphin representative is almost a surefire, whether it's a black and gold repaint, or it's just a Ninja or Shogun. And finally, that brings me to my last pick for this wave, and this is kind of difficult because there's so many different seasons we can introduce and so many different fan favorites and popularity stuff, but I think that a decent chance for the fourth figure in the wave would be the Wild Force Megazord, another one of my all-time favorite Megazords. And also, Wild Force is just about to begin in the Lightning Collection in 2022. Also, since Wave 1 is coming out in 2022, Wave 2 definitely will be as well. And of course, 2022 is the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers Wild Force. We just got it in the SMP line recently, so in the mini pla, so I don't think it's too crazy to see that there's popularity for this one out there and that it could make it to the retro figure line here as well. And also, it just kind of depends on how far or how current we're going to go with this line. As of right now, the line has not gone any current than Ninja Storm, which at this point is going to be when the second wave comes out, or even the first wave will have been 24 years, you know, before that. So I don't know exactly like if they are, you know, gonna want to go further than that. I mean, Dino Thunder and SPD would be, you know, really big fan favorites to happen there. I know a lot of people would love like the Jungle Pride Megazord or the High Octane Megazord. I would love the Samurai Megazord, another one of my all-time favorites, just because of just Samurai means a lot to me and everything, so I would love to see that happen. But like I said, I think that kind of playing it on the safe side, the Wild Force Megazord could easily be one that it could introduce a new team into this Retro Megazord line. But that's all I really got to talk about here. I know these are all pretty safe choices, a Mighty Morphin, a Zeo in Space, and Wild Force, but like, I feel like this line is going to play with safe choices for a while. But then again, we did get the Lost Galaxy Megazord in the last wave, and I think that that was already kind of a not risky choice, but kind of out there choice. You don't really see a lot of focus on like the Zords from Lost Galaxy. You don't even really see that crazy of a focus on Lost Galaxy. It gets more represented in other seasons like Jungle Fury or something, but still I think that was kind of an out of left field choice, and I'd love to see these waves continue to do that. Like I said many times in this video, we know Wave 2 is confirmed to be happening. We have the listings for it. We don't have anything beyond that, but I would love to see more waves beyond it, the second wave, and I'm sure we'll get more if these continue to sell well. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments below. Which Retro Megazord figures would you like to see come out from Hasbro at Walmart? What are your favorite Megazords? And also, are you going to be picking up the first wave? Did you kind of change your mind after PulseCon, or were you already on board from day one? I'd love to hear what you have to say. And until next time, you can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or at LightningFigPR. I'll see you all later.